Hello, my name is Nicola and I'm from the Ivan Apostol School. Today I will present you the Dynamic Learning Open Educational Resources platform that we created for the Facilitate AI project. The platform is based on Moodle, which is open source learning management system widely used by educational institutions around the world. In this presentation, I will go through the login process, the platform structure, and collaboration and communication tools that we use in the platform. The platform for now contains two trainings, which is C1 training for AI for adaptation to school and C2 training course for facilitators on learning in schools. The courses contains presentations, videos, and guidelines that educators around the world can use in the classroom. The platform will use two main roles for its users. The first one is the guest role that can only see the course's content but cannot interact with them, and the user role that needs to make a registration to fill some forms, and after that it can log in to the platform, can enroll in courses, can interact with course content, so it can upload files, text, videos, can use the communication and collaboration tools, and so on. This is login and account creation screen. We have several options here. If we already have an account, we can enter our username and password and check the remember user tick. So every time we log in into the platform knows that this is who we are. We have option if we forgot our username password to contact the administrator and receive an email with instructions what we need to do to receive them back. We can access as guest, which don't need registration, or we have the option to create a new account. When we press create a new account in the last window, we are presented with the new account form. Here we need to enter our username, our password, our email address again, first name, last name, our city, town, and country. After we fill the form, we can press the create a new account button. After that, the system will notify us that it has sent us an email with more instructions how to complete the new account creation. This is the instructions email from the platform, and we need to open the link to verify that this is us and we want to finish the account creation process. After we finalize our new account creation process, we now have a username and password, and we can log in into the platform. This is the first screen that greets us when we log in into the platform. Here we can add some additional information about us. We can add picture, we can use some aliases, we can add our interests and update our profile. When we log in into the platform, now we can see the trainings, the modules, and the learning materials. On the left we have navigation bar which can help us to go through the different modules of the training. And on the center of the screen we have the name of the module and the resources that it contains. This module contains guidelines, PowerPoint presentation, and video. Users of the platform can use its communication and collaboration tools to exchange ideas and learning materials and to create discussions on different topics. First collaboration and communication tool is the chat, where users can communicate in real time and discuss ideas and different topics. As we can see, the chat have very simple interface that is very easy to use. You can see who is online, who is left the chat, and you can send and receive messages in real time. The chat tool also keeps record of the past sessions, and every user can access them and see them after the chat session is over. Next communication and collaboration tool is the forum. Here we can see the forum interface, which gives us basic information about the discussions, who started the discussion, when is the last post in different discussions, how many replies every discussion have, and we can subscribe and favorite a discussion. If we subscribe to discussion, the system will notify us if something new happens to the discussion. Here we can see the features that we have when we create new discussion. We have subject of the discussion, we have a message that can contains text, files, pictures, links to different sources. Also, we can add some tags and we can use them after that. If we don't want to use the forum to upload files and create discussions, we have the option to only upload files or download already existing files. And for that we can use the upload tool. Here we can upload our files and see which file types are allowed by the system. There are many different file types, but we can use it. As you can see, the platform is very dynamic and it makes its users to collaborate and communicate even more. With every collaboration, we can expand the platform even more. Thank you for your attention. Hello, my name is Nicola and I will present you the dynamic online learning environment platform that we created for the Facilitate AI project. First of all, let's understand what is LMS or Learning Management System that we use to create the platform. This is a software application and platform used for administration, documentation, tracking and delivery of educational courses and training programs. LMSs are widely used in various education and corporate settings to facilitate online and blended learning, where combination of in-person and online instruction is used. Some key features and functionality of LMS includes course management. LMSs enable educators and administrators to create, manage, and organize online courses or training programs. They can upload course materials, schedule assignments, make some quizzes, assignments, and control access to the content. The LMSs also provide user management that allow administrators to manage user accounts, assign roles and permissions, and track individual and group process. Users can include students, instructors, employees, and other participants. The other key feature of the LMSs is content delivery. LMSs provide a platform for delivering instructional materials such as text, multimedia, documents, videos, links, wikis to learners. This content can be accessed at any time and form and location with an internet connection. The LMSs also provide assessment and grading. They support various assessment methods, including quizzes, assignments, surveys, and tests. Instructors can create, grade, and provide feedback on assessments within the system. The communication and collaboration is also very important part of the LMSs. Most LMSs offer tools for communication and collaboration, including discussion forums, chat, messaging, and email integration. Some of them also have virtual classrooms that help teachers and students to communicate within themselves. These features fosters interaction between instructors and students and among the learners themselves. LMSs also provide tracking and reporting. LMSs can provide data tracking and reporting capabilities to monitor learner process and performance. Instructors and administrators can generate reports to evaluate the effectiveness of courses and identify areas for improvement. The LMSs also have very strict and good access control. The administrators can set access controls and permissions to ensure that only authorized users can access specific courses or content. Security and data privacy is very helpful for the LMSs. LMSs typically have built-in security features to protect user data and ensure privacy, including authentication and encryption. Many of the LMSs provide various options for customization, and most of them are modular, allowing institutions to adapt and the platform's appearance and functionality to match their specific needs and branding. Also, they have integration with other software and systems such as video conferencing tool, content management systems, and student information systems. LMSs are used widely in universities, schools, colleges, and for corporate training programs and non-profit organizations. They have become particularly important in the context of remote and online learning, as they enable the management and delivery of educational content and training in the digital format, making learning more accessible and flexible. So for the platform, we use the Moodle LMS system, which is widely used around the world for many schools and university, colleges. So now I'll tell a couple of words about Moodle. Moodle is open source learning management system and e-learning platform that is widely used by educators and institutions around the world to create and deliver online courses. It has originally developed by Martin Dogiamas in 2002 and has since gained popularity in the educational sector. Moodle provides a virtual environment where teachers, instructors, and administrators can create and manage online courses, deliver instructional materials, assess student progress, and facilitate communication and collaboration among students, teachers, and all the participants in the system. And now I will say about the key features of the Moodle. So Moodle have course management. Educators can create and organize course content such as lectures, assignments, quizzes, and media resources like videos, links, pictures. Moodle also provides the administrators user management tools. You can manage the accounts, the roles, and the permission of every user, making it suitable for various types of educational institutions. Moodle provides communication tools. It offers discussion forums, messaging, chat features to facilitate interaction between students and instructors. Also provides assessment and grading. So Moodle supports various assessment methods, including quizzes, assignments, and surveys. Instructors can grade assignments and provide feedback within the platform. Moodle also have very good tracking and reporting system that offers tools to monitor student progress and generate reports on course performance. Moodle is modular, so everything is customizable and allowing institutions to adapt its appearance and functionality to their specific needs and branding. The best part of Moodle that is open source. So Moodle is completely free. You can self-host it or host it on your server or hosting, which means that it can be freely downloaded, installed, and modified by anyone. This has contributed to its widespread adoption and development of large and active user community. Moodle also have plugins and integration. The ecosystem of plugins and integrations that Moodle uses is very rich and extends its functionality, enabling the integration of various third-party tools and services. So to wrap up things about what is LMS and what is Moodle, I can share few words about the uses and how it helps the students and educators. So for educators, course creation and management is essential, and Moodle provides educators with tools to create, organize, and manage their courses. Also, they can structure content, upload resources, and manage assignments and assessments all within the platform. Moodle is flexible. It supports blended and fully online learning, offering educators the flexibility to reach students regardless of their location. This flexibility is especially valuable for accommodating different learning styles and schedules. Also, educators can deliver instructional content, including text, multimedia, documents, quizzes, presentations through Moodle, and this centralize the content, making it easy accessible to students. Also, Moodle can help educators with providing various assessment tools, allowing the educator to create quizzes, assessment, tests, and they can automatically grade and provide feedback, saving time and ensuring consistency. Moodle also helps the instructors and educators to use its communication tools like forums, messaging, chat, enabling educators to interact with students and promote collaboration among the learners and the users of the platform. This fosters engagement and the exchange of ideas, which is very important for our project. Also, Moodle provides educators with data tracking, reporting features to monitor student reports in progress, and they can deliver and they can identify areas where students might be struggling and provide targeted support, which is very crucial for the educators. Also, Moodle can help the educators to save time and to manage their resources more directly and fast. And it provides enrollment and registration, which help educators save time and concentrate on teaching and supporting students, because the enrollment can be several types. It can be self-enrollment. When you make account, you're automatically enrolled in some of the courses. So educators also can customize the appearance and functionality of their Moodle courses. Every course can have different appearance, different tools in there, different multimedia items, and every course can be tailored to their teaching needs. Also, Moodle can help not only the teachers, but the students to share resources among them and promoting collaboration and the exchange of best practices within the institution. Also, Moodle can help educators with their own professional development. They can access online courses, resources, communities, or practice to enhance their teaching skills. So, students benefit from Moodle with the access of the learning material that are central location to access course materials, that provides them central location to access course materials such as lectures, readings, assignments, and multimedia resources. This accessibility ensures that students can view content at their own pace, which is very important nowadays. Also, students have flexibility and convenience. Students can access Moodle from everywhere with an internet connection from their phones, their Chromebooks, laptops, personal PCs, and allow them to study at their own convenience and adapt to their individual learning styles, which is very important. The communication tools of Moodle enable students to ask questions, engage in discussions, and communicate with instructors and peers. This fosters a scene of community and can improve the overall learning experience. Also, students can complete quizzes, assignments online, and receive immediate automatic feedback, helping them understand their strengths and weaknesses in real time. Also, they can write in the forums and provide some other tools to communicate with the educators or other students. Also, Moodle helps the students to monitor their own process through Moodle, including grades, participation in discussions, which can help them stay motivated and on track. Moodle also provides some gamification tools, and the students can receive rewards if they go through one lesson or two lessons and finish some quizzes. Also, collaboration supports Moodle supports collaboration within the student community, and they can learn through group activities and projects, enabling students to work together on assignments and share ideas. Also, Moodle can host additional learning resources and links, which can be especially helpful for supplementary materials, research, or external resources. And the best part of the Moodle platform is the structure of the courses. It's often consistent, making it easier for the students to navigate and find the information they need quickly. So in summary, Moodle helps educators and students by providing a flexible and user-friendly platform for managing courses, delivering content, fostering communication and collaboration, and facilitating assessment and progress tracking. It enhances the teaching and learning experience, making it more efficient and effective for both parties. So this is the front page of our platform. When you click on Learn More, it sends us to the brief description of the project. And from here, we can visit the project website. From the project website, we can get more information about the project, the results, the objectives, works plans. We can watch the video, or if we don't know the address of the Moodle platform, we can scroll down here and we can visit the dynamic learning environment and observatory. Just a second. And here we are provided with the Get Started button. When we press it, we can also go to the Facilitate AI OER platform by pressing Get Started. And it will redirect us to the front page. From here, we can see that the platform have two available courses for now, which is Facilitate AI C1 and Facilitate AI C2. And we can see that the courses are worked for us. When we click on them, we are directed to the create account, to the login page. Here we have several options. The first option is to grant access as a guest. When we click access as a guest, we are greeted to the first course. But as a guest, we can only see the content. We cannot interact with it. So what I mean by this, we can open learning guidelines. We can see their content. We can go through them. We can go back. We can download the presentations and we can play the videos. As you can see, the Facilitate AI C1 have several parts. Every part have guidelines, several presentations about different topic, and a video that explains the presentations and other educators are presenting. So here we have AI STEAMI models of learning, where we can find some guidelines about STEAMI models of learning. We can see the presentations, we can play the video, we can even open it in YouTube for our convenience. And we can play it from here. The second part is AI in our life. It is almost the same. We have the guidelines, we can open it, and we can see the guidelines. They consist of several things. We have learning objectives and learning outcomes. We have some competences, and we have links to some instruments, to supporting material, and resources to be used. Down here we have a table that we can see more granularly the learning objectives, learning outcomes, competences, activities, and we can see areas of knowledge, again the learning outcomes, competences, activities, and this guideline is 4 parts. Yes, this learning guideline consists of 4 parts. Again, we have a PowerPoint that we can download, and we have a video that we can play. We can see here, we can see in YouTube. All depends on us. After this, that is the AI fundamentals section, where again we have some guidelines. The guidelines again consist of 4 parts. For every part we have instruments, tools, supporting material, resources to be used, and we can see the parts are knowledge representation, processing and rationing, programming in logic, introduction to Prolog, searching, planning and decision making, AI optimization, and basics of Python programming and AI projects. And we can see we have everything here. So the next topic is teaching through game competitions and cooperation. Again, we have the guidelines. We can read them. If we want, we can download them if you want to use them after that. for something else. We have the presentation about the topic, and we have the video. After that, we have digital skills and data literacy. Again, we have the guidelines that we can open. We can see them. Again, there are 4 parts. We can see the learning objectives and learning outcomes. We can see the competences, and we can see the tools used and that can help us in this guideline. Again, we have a video that we can play here in the platform, or we can open in Moodle. So the next topic is training the AI system. Here again, we have some guidelines that we can see. Again, this time we have 5 parts and some examples of APIs for Python coding, machine learning algorithms, introduction to neural networks, introduction to machine learning. We have instruments, tools, supporting materials. We have links to them. We have the PowerPoint that we can save and see later. And we have the video for the topic. After that, we have innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Again, we have the presentation. We have the guidelines. We can open them. Here again, we have 5 parts. We have some instruction and broad description of the context and the goal of the area. Again, we have the PowerPoint. If you want, we can download it to see it. And we have the video. Next topic is ethics about AI. Here we have the guidelines. So we can see it's 7 parts. And these guidelines get to present as the EU guidelines and regulation for building AI systems, understand the factors that create digital social cohesion and exclusion in society, dangers of digital divide and exclusion of sectors of the society, and so on. Again, we have a video, and here we have the collaboration and communication tools. So now, as a guest, we have the C1 chat, the C1 forum, and the C1 uploads. Here, other educators can upload their files, but we are logged in as a guest, so we don't have privilege to see the files, to post a new file, and so on. Again, it's the same with we can use this window to navigate to the system faster. We can see in the forum, we can see the topics, but that's all. We can open one topic and we cannot reply to a topic because we are not logged as a user, we are as guests, so we cannot continue. And yeah, this is for the guest part. So we can see that we are currently logged as a guest, and that's all we can do as a guest. We can only see and download some of the materials. We can play the videos, but we cannot use the collaboration and communication tools. So what can we do next? We can go to the login page again, and we can see what other options we have. Here are the login options after we have created an account. And that's what we will do now. So when we came here, we can click to create a new account. It will lead it to the account creation page. So here we must enter our username. After that, we need to enter a password, but the password must have at least 8 characters, at least one digit or more, at least one lowercase letter or more, at least one uppercase letter, or at least one special character. So now I will enter my password. So after that, we need to enter email address. So we do that. And we have to enter the email address again. All the red circles are required fields. So we need to enter them to be able to create our account. So now we can enter our first name, our last name, our city. I'm from Bulgaria, so it will be the capital of Bulgaria, Sofia. And here we must select country, which is Bulgaria, my country. After that, we can click the create my new account button. We wait a bit, and now we are presented with the next step of the registration. So the system tells us that it has sent us an email to our email address, that it contains easy instructions to complete our registration. And if you have some difficulties, we can contact site administrator. So I will press continue, and we are back in the front page. I will check my email, and this is the email from the system. As you can see, we have few instructions that our new account has been requested at Facilitate AI online platform, and we need to confirm our account. And here are some instructions that are most emails. The link should be blue. If it's not blue, we can click it again. So we click to the link, and we are greeted with the next window, which is the platform window, that now we have registration, and we can click continue. And here we are. We are in the platform. From here, we can see we have some options here. So when we create account and we enter in the platform, we need to self-enroll in the courses, because that's how the platform work, to be able to use everything in the course. So I will click enroll me in this course, and the platform will ask me what to do, and I will click enroll me. And now we have this message that we are enrolled in the course. Here we have options to see all the participants in the course, which is not many at the time, but we can see every one of them. And we even can click on some participant, we can send them a message, or we can add them as our contacts. And here we can see some information about the user, or we can click view profile. And we can see that the system administrator is also here. And in the more section of these options, we can unenroll for this course. But before we see the course, we can go here where are our initials, and we can click on the profile. Here we can see our profile information, and we can make some adjustments. We can click on we can see some information. If we post some posts in the forums, when we click forum posts, it will greet us with all the posts that we made. Now this is a new user. I didn't use the forum yet. So the message is I don't have any forum posts. I can see my forum discussions, my warning plans. I can browse other things. So if we click edit profile, we are greeted with our profile information. So we can add some options. We can change our first name, second name. We can change our email. We have some options about our email. We can hide it. We can show it to everyone, or it can be visible only to the participants in the course. After that, we can change our city, our country. We can change our time zone if we want. We can make a short description about us. And here we can add some pictures, videos, multimedia, some links. Here we can upload a picture to our profile. And here we have some additional names. If you want, we can enter our first, last name in phonetic. We can have middle name. We have some aliases. We can add some interests of ours. And after that, we can click update profile. And the profile will be updated with the new information. So after that, we can click my courses and to be sent it to my courses page where I am already enrolled in C1. If I want to enroll in C2, I can go to the home page, scroll down, and now we see the icons are changed. Now we can enter in C2 course. And again, we can click enroll me in this course. Enroll. And now we are enrolled. We are enrolled here. And again, my courses. From here, we can see our courses. We can make some changes. We can start this course. We can remove this course. It all depends on us. So we can start the course, and now we can see what the guest user sees. We can open the guidelines. We can download the presentations. We can start the videos. We can open them in YouTube. In every topic, we can do the same thing as a guest. If we have some permissions, we even can add some information to the topics. And we can see AI fundamentals. We can open the guidelines. We can go through them. We can download them. What separates us from the guest is now collaboration and communication tools. If you click on the uploads, we can see that now we can upload files. We can download all already submitted files, and we can choose to download files. Now we can click on the edit and upload files. We are greeted with menu where we can see all the accepted file types. We can see that we can upload some archive, 7-zip, WinRAR, zip. We can upload some document files like doc, EPUB, PDF. We can upload some images. like GIFs, JPEGs, JPG, TIFF. We also can upload some videos. And here's the zone where we can drop and drag some files to upload them. And I can do that now. Let me see. So I can drag and drop some presentation file and we can see, okay, so this is the old version of PowerPoint and it's not accepted. Let's see. This file. Okay, so I've managed to upload some doc file. I can change how I see the files. And for now, all users have limit of 20 megabytes per file. And maximum file uploads in one upload can be 5. So the file is approved automatically, as we see before that the one file got rejected, but this one is okay. I can click Save Changes, and now I can see my file. And as information, I can see who uploaded the file, when is this file is uploaded, and the file. So if I click here on the file, I have the option to download it. If I click here and select the file, I can click to download all files, and I can download it again. We can change how many files we can see on this page, if there are more files, more than one. And yeah, here we can click again. If we select some files, we can download them. And this is for the upload and edit files. So now maybe if I click edit files, I can see that this is my file. I can click here and I can delete it. So now the file is deleted after I confirm that I don't want the file to be uploaded anymore. And then I can save the changes. So now no file, nobody sees it, and that's it for the file upload. Again, I can click in the navigation window and I can open the chat. Now we can see that we can use the chat. We can enter the chat and we are presented with the chat window that I will try to share now. Just a second. Okay. So this now is the chat interface. You can see that I'm the only one here. But if we have some other participants, their names will be here and we'll have some interactions with them. Here I can write my message. When I hit enter or send, the message appears with timestamp and who posted the message. And if I click on the name of the person who posted the message, I can open their profile, or I can click here from the list. We have some themes that we can change, and the chat will change as well. We can use the course theme. We can make some adjustments, and that's all for the chat interface. Let me get back to the platform. So in the chat section, we can also see the past sessions. Just let me complete the previous session. So it's completed. If I refresh, no, it's not here. Okay, so current users, idle. Let me see. List all sessions. Okay, so here we can see all the sessions. We can see what everyone write in the session. And this is all benefit of the registered user. The guest accounts cannot see nothing here. Let's go back to the communication and collaboration. And here is the forum. As we see, there are some topics already made in the forum. And we have some options. We can see when the topics are created, who created the topics. We can see the number of replies. And here we have option to subscribe or unsubscribe to different topics. If we subscribe to one topic, the system will send us messages if there are new replies or something is changed here. Also, from this menu, we can start the discussion. So we can start the discussion from here, or we can start the discussion if we click on the name. And here the topic is the guidelines for the for one of the courses. I can reply, and when I click reply, I can send my message, and when I click post, the message will be posted. So here we can see the parents. We can edit our message, and if you want, we have some options, and we have editor. We can add some pictures, videos, links. We also can add some attachments to our post which can help the collaboration between teachers and students and all the users. I can also make some tags. I can make discussion subscription from here if I want. And when everything is done, I click to save changes, and I'm presented to the forum screen again. I have some settings which are why we can unsubscribe from this discussion or start the discussion again. We can reply from here. We can delete our topic. If I want, I can click delete. The system will ask me, are you sure? We can click continue, and the reply or the new topic is deleted. If you want to go back, we can click on the breadcrumbs here, and we can see the other topics. So we are subscribed to this. Let us subscribe to the other ones. Again, we can click here. You can see the topic. Here is nothing. Here is only text. Nothing is added as files. Or we can make some of these discussions our favorite if you want to find them more easily. So this is the C1. All the things that C1 consist. When I go to my courses, we can go to the C2. As you see, now I made C1 my favorite. So if I have more courses here, I can get to them more easily. I can see all the courses. I can see the courses that I have some progress in them. I can see some future or past courses. I can remove some courses. I can see the favorite one. And I can sort them by course name or by when I was access them. Or I can use the search engine and find some courses. So I type C1, the C1 it is present. If I type C2, the C2 course. If I click here, it erases my searches and I see the courses. Also, these are the course cards. I can make them to appear as a list if it's easier for me or as a summary. But I prefer the card one. So now we can see what we have in the C2 training that is in our platform. Again, I enrolled here. We have some announcements that we as the users can see. Announcements are when something new or the course facilitator wants to introduce us to something new, to some ideas, to everything. So here the structure is almost the same as the C1. We have learning plans, and the first one in motivation, creative resources, and ethics and education. We can click on the plan, we can open the plan, and we are presented with introduction and description of the plan, some learning objectives and learning outcomes, the competences from the plan, and again some instruments. Also, we have tables with learning objectives, learning outcomes, competences, activities from the different parts of the learning plan. The learning plans are for teachers that want to create courses or want to engage their students with AI. So again, we have a presentation that we can download, and we have the video that we can play here in the platform if we want. Or again, we can open in YouTube and play it from here. After that, we have 9 learning and creativity plan presentations, as we can see. And every presentation is different. So the structure is like this. We have solving problems of movement, speed, organization of our movement within the city with the use of AI tools. When we click here, we have the learning creativity plan about this topic. Again, we can see the learning objectives and learning outcomes. We can see the competences. And again, we have the table with the learning objectives, learning outcomes, competences, activities of every part. We have the video, we can play it. After that, we have the learning plan for Prolog in the service of AI. Here we can download. Oh, this is the presentation. We can download it. This is the learning plan. And again, we can see introduction, learning objectives and learning outcomes, competences, and again the tables with activities, competences, learning outcomes. After that, we have image classification learning plan, image classification PowerPoint, and the video. After that, we have pathway to innovation, which is the learning plan. Again, we can see the learning plan. We can see the introduction and broad description, learning objectives, learning outcomes, and we have the video. After that, we have AI in Steam, in Steamy, AI in Steamy PowerPoint. We have the video. We have the Guess Who Wording creativity plan. We have the PowerPoint. We have the video. After that, we have AI profession orientation chatbot. Wording creativity plan. We have the PowerPoint about this topic, and we have the video. We have the digital assistant. Wording creativity plan. We have the digital assistant PowerPoint. We have the video. We have elements of AI ethics, wording creativity plan. All these plans can be used by teachers to engage their students. After that, we have the practicum and implementation by the trainers. These are some plans that are made in presentation that are made by some teachers that use the learning creativity plans and the guidelines to create some class activities based on the plans, the guidelines, the tools in there. And as you can see of this presentation, this is step by step how the teachers use the knowledge from the guidelines and learning creativity plans. We can see the visuals of trainers. And again, we have the Facilitate AI C2 forum. When we click, we can exchange some ideas. Here we can create a discussion. And let's make one. So this discussion will be okay, so the discussion will be I'm a teacher, how to use AI in my school. So this is the subject. Here we can add some text and we can post it. Okay, so we need some text here because it's required. Let's add some punctuation and we can post it. And here we can see this is the name of my topic. When I click here, I can see my text here. I can edit it. I can delete it. I can reply to it. If I don't want to edit the first one, I can reply and add second one. Here I can subscribe and unsubscribe to it. And again, I have the same options as the other one. Oh, here's something. When we add the post in the beginning, we have 30 minutes to edit it if we want to make some changes. This automatic message, but we can ignore it because after that we can make some changes. Again, here we have chat that we can chat with all participants from this training or all the participants from C1 or C2, but this is completely made for C2. So everything here will be about C2. And again, we can upload some files. And we know how to upload files. The options are the same. Let me think. Do I miss something? Oh, maybe some of the options when we log in. Again, here we can see if someone send us some message or we can send private message. We can see our contacts as I told already. when we add someone to our contact list, we can communicate, collaborate with them in the platform without using the two trainings, the C1 and C2. We can make some groups within the users of the platform based on interests, school, etc. And this bell will notify us. All the notifications will be here. If someone posted, if someone replied to something, if someone uploaded something new, we'll see it here. Also, we have a dashboard, which is personal. And here we can see the next 7 days, what we have to do. We have a calendar. We can create some events if you want to remind us of something or we have to do something. We have the courses view and the homepage. So now if I want to log out, also we have some private files that we can upload and use only for us. Maybe some pictures, some presentations. Let me think about something else. The calendar, profile, reports. Okay, so if we click log out, the system will log us out. If we click again log in, it will ask us again about our username and password. But if we forgot our password or username, we can request a new one. So if we know our name, we can search for it. And the system automatically will send us an email. And it will tell us that if we made the mistake. Let me see, do we have a new email? Yeah, we have. So we have password reset request. And from this link, we can reset our password. And the good thing is that the link is valid only 30 minutes. So if 30 minutes are gone, we need to request another password reset. Also, the system will send us a message when we enroll in the course and some link so we can log in the system faster and better. Again, we can use our username and password. We can click remember user and the system will remember us, and every time we log in from the same browser and the same device, the system will recognize us and will get us inside. So I think that's all. I hope that I was helpful to everyone, that you now know what is learning management system, what is Moodle, and what we have done to when we are creating this platform. Thank you for your attention and bye-bye.